So the gluing's done. We're at the sewing machine. We've got the open toe foot on. I've got a nice variegated thread. Like a lot of people ask me what brand of thread I like to use. I'll use any brand of thread so long as it's good quality and so long as the colour's right. So I'm always shopping for threads when I'm out and about. So just whatever suits you. We want to set the machine to a zigzag stitch, but we don't want the density to be too close together, because if it is, you'll be sewing for a very long time. So go to a normal zigzag. You need a width that's going to be able to connect the two strips together. So you don't want it too narrow. So I'm going to go up to about, I'm going to try about 5, and I'm going to have the density of it at about, let's go to about 1.85, and I'll try that. And you might want to try this on a little sample before you start. So now make sure you've got the sew slip mat on, because as this grows and you want to be able to come around those corners, you don't want to be tugging and pulling at it, because it will stretch and your bag will go all out of shape, and I'd hate that to happen for you. So we're going to start at the end. Put our pressure foot down. Always have your needle in the down position, so when you stop it'll just hold it in position for you. And we'll start with the zigzag. So I'm happy with that width and that of my zigzag. And we're just going to now zigzag this all. It'll grow very quickly for you, particularly after you get around those first few rounds. But you can see I don't have to get my fingers in here. If I didn't have the glued, I'd be really getting quite nervous as I get up to this end point here. So now, you may have to lift your pressure foot here to come around these curves. You may have to lift it a few times. Take it slow. There's no rush here, just take your time so it all connects together for you. And you're just going to keep coming now and doing all the stitching. Keep your eye where those two pieces connect together. And you'll do as many rounds as you want to get the base of the bag to the size you want. And, you know, it doesn't matter really. If it ends up, you know, too small, you get doing your rounds and you think, oh, I wonder if that's a big enough base. It'll tell you. Or if you've got another shopping bag, use that as a guide. And that's what I've done. I've got a great shopping bag that, a pre-bought one that I bought that's not made out of fabric, it's out of cane. So I just got a measurement for the base out of that, and I built my base up to be that size, and then I started building up the sides. So let's start building up the sides and show you how very simple that is. So the base is starting to build up, and with this that I'm showing you here, I'm going to make a smaller version of a bag, just to give you an idea of how it all happens, and then I'll show you one that I'm in the process of making and how to finish it off at the end and how to make the handles. Now you can see how neat this is all sitting. It's sitting really nice and flat. Now with your strips here, because we don't want to stretch it around these corners, I suggest you throw it over your shoulder, have it coming from over your shoulder, and maybe have the ball in a basket behind you. Then we want to run the cord between your finger and thumb. We don't want to stretch it. And you're so tempted to want to stretch it around these corners. Just keep your left hand on the top of your base, and it's going to allow you to let this pivot around. And with the mat underneath, it just works like a dream. If I didn't have this mat, I'd be sitting here like this, really hunched up and really making it hard work for myself. So that's why I use the mat, and this is why I use this hand position. So if you're making a big jelly roll rug, it's the same as I said before. It's exactly the same. Now, we've got this opening here. That's the folded edge. I've got it coming against the complete fold. We don't want to poke this one inside here because it'll get too bulky. You just want it to sit together. You just want it to lay together, run the cord through, and just keep coming around. Makes it so enjoyable to do. Now I'm going to start to show you how to build up the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift this with our left hand. We're going to lift it off the surface of the machine, and we're going to come up like this. So we're starting to make a dish out of it. I'm holding it right up against the side of the machine. Just let it run through. Like these, you can make, as I said before, make them any size. Make them for gifts for your friends. Just keep it right up against the side of your machine to give you that nice shape that you're going to be after. And you can see with that really good quality needle in, I'm not getting any skip stitches. And you can see now how we're starting to get the shape. It's such a simple, simple, simple process. Holding it up is what gives you the shapes. Simplest sewing you'll ever do. So we just keep stitching. And I'll show you another one that I'm working on very soon out of the same fabrics, which is a much bigger bag. And I'll show you how it would be held at the machine, just to give you an idea of making different sizes, how they will look. So I think you can appreciate how easy it is and how fast it can be when we've got the right tools on our machine. I'd never attempt this without the slippery mat. And I'd never attempt it by having the fabric down here and pulling it around the corners, because that instantly will start to stretch everything and you'll have a very whoopy bag. It just won't work for you. So we'll keep going and I'll show you how we're going to finish off when we build the sides up. We'll do a bit more stitching there and then we'll show you how to finish it off and how to make the handle. So come with me till we show you the next step. Okay, so we're still stitching. You can see now how it's all built up. This is going to be quite a nice sized bag. Now we're getting down to the end where we're starting to finish off. So I just want you to see how I've tapered the end off the same as we did at the beginning. So you can see here we've got the very tapered end, and as we stitch along here, just keep them together, keep it really in close, and I pick this end up and put it inside a little bit. And this is where the awl is very, very handy, because it'll just hold it in place. I don't want my fingers in there to make it too dangerous. So we'll just do a bit of reverse there. And there we have the bag completed. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to make some handles to go on this lovely bag. So you can see the nice structure of this. You can see it's nice and big. And now we're going to put some handles on. So let's go back to the work table and I'll show you some options that you have with your handles. So here we are, we've got it finished. It's a nice size, but as I said, you can make it any size you want, one colour, okay, compared to the two colours in this one. You can see the difference. Like, you could make this out of 20 different colours, you know, cut multiple colours and join them together, and you'd have like a rainbow bag. It'd be gorgeous. It's a great way of using up that stash that we've got. But you can see how we've tapered it off to the end. Now, I've organised this tapering to kind of finish where I'm going to be putting my straps on my handles, just so that it won't be so noticeable. And you can make your handles any size you want. I've done a double feature here on this one. I've put some nice wadding inside that's nice and soft. So if I put this over my shoulder, it's going to be well padded, it's going to be well strong. I've put some little D's here, some little loops, just as a feature. Like, and this is great, you can hang your keys off this. Or you know, your smaller shopping bags, you can hang them off there. Doesn't matter what you do with your handles. But for this one, I'm going to use two colours. And making these handles, I've used the green bag strappers. With these two handles here, the double handles, I've used the 2-inch one to make the bottom one with the wadding in it. And then I've used the inch one to make the top, the colour feature one. So, and you'll notice here that these are much bigger splits compared to the jelly roll one. This one here, we didn't have to put as much bulk through. This one we're putting a lot more bulk. So that's why these splits are much wider and why our tools are coded in different colours, so you know what tool to use for the job. If you were only going to use a 2.5-inch wide strip with a piece of wadding in it and make a very narrow handle, you could use this one. But if you want to go wider and put more wadding in them, you'll need to use the green ones. So let's see what we're going to do. So I'm going to use the 1-inch and the 1.5 for this bag I've been constructing. So when we do that, we're going to cut our fabric double the measurement of the tool that we're going to use, or of the finished size of our strap. So 1.5, we've cut our wadding and our fabric 3 inches wide. Iron your pieces together, and you know, you use whatever wadding you want, but using the fusible one, it just makes it so easy. So what we're going to do is fold the ends in. You might like to find the middle first and press, so that you've got that centre point to fold back each side to. Just press the first few inches to get it nice and flat. Then we're going to put it into the tool, come up from the bottom. We're going to cover this centre bar and go back down. Then we're going to pin this into the ironing board, because we're not going to sew this handle at all at this stage. Pin into the ironing board, and I'm using the double fork pin, this little pin, so that I get equal tension on both sides of the fabric. I'm going to cup up the sides, and I'm going to put the side of the iron against the side of the template, and I'm going to push. And that will make your nice strip. So if you're on a bigger ironing board, it makes it a lot easier. But me just working on the little workboard, I have to keep shifting it often. Just keep ironing the whole lot till it comes all the way through. And just continue down the whole strip like that. Then to put another contrast on here, I'm going to use the same fabric that I used in the bag. I'm going to use the 1-inch tool. So I've cut this 2 inches wide. I've cut the batting or the wadding 2 inches wide. Oops. Going to do the same thing. Lay that down, and we'll press this one so the batting sticks to the fabric. And you'll notice that the batting's not going to stick to my ironing board and make a mess. Fold in and in again. It's the same principle as what we've been doing. Just repeat your process up and back down. Once again, pin. cup up the sides and keep pressing. Now, once we get that done, it's really easy from here on in. Probably the most difficult part of working with the bag is actually attaching your straps because you've got a little bit of bulk. But let me tell you, if you've got a machine that you can release the pressure off the pressure foot, release the pressure off the pressure foot, and your machine will sew through the bulk beautifully. It's the device I use on my machine now for machine quilting when I teach machine quilting, the no stress, no pressure way of quilting that I teach. By releasing the pressure off the foot, it makes quilting become so much easier, as it does when you're sewing through bulk. Most machines have that device to allow us to sew through bulk like this, but very few of us use that wonderful feature that we have on our machine. So we make our strip up. Once we get the handle to the length we want, so you decide, you measure from where you like your bag to sit on your body, up and over to make your handle that length. Do your 2 strips or the 1 strip, whatever you want. But I like to use 2 strips because it makes it very easy and it makes for a nice finish to your bag. What we're going to do now is put some glue along on both sides here. And we're simply going to put this one over the top. Look at that, it covers all those raw edges. You get a nice feature handle. That really makes it fun. You don't have to make a handle and pull it through. You know, and that's what we usually do with handles, or you can use webbing, you can use whatever you want as your handling. But I just find this is a really, really nice feature. So once I get that glued on, I go back to my machine and I do a straight row of stitching on both sides. And you can see here, when I've made this, I've stitched really close on the edge. Use that open toe foot, move your needle position over, watch the side of the foot and sew right on the edge. Release the pressure off the foot a bit because you've got the bulk to sew through. And when you look at the other side, you've just got this stitching, but you've got this nice padded handle. Now once I've got this stitching done, I'll just trim off the ends. And then I just turn this edge back and I glue it. And I'm going to glue it, and a lot of people wonder why I use the glue so much. But I like to glue because I find pinning a lot of this bulk through all of this bulk is too hard. I just find the glue works so well for me. Plenty of heat into it to make it sit there. So now we're ready to attach this to the bag however we want. So I'm going to put it onto here. Now you can either pin this, you could use the clips, or you could glue it. But once you get it on there however you want, I go back to the machine and I just do a straight row of stitching to create a little box here. I go around twice and then I do a little cross through the middle to give it really, really good strength. So let's turn this around and show you what we've done here. So if the can come in close there, you can see we've stitched around. I've used the same variegated thread that I use for my straight stitching and the zigzag. Don't have to change threads. Stitch around and then come through and do the cross. Now your handle's really, really secure. And by putting it over the edge where we finished it, like with this one here, you can see this is where I tapered the end down. Now the handle coming over that, it hides that tapering. And I just think, you know, they're really nice bags for us to take shopping. Because we all have to take our shopping bags now. So, you know, put your keys on here. You could even put pockets in here for your mobile phone and for other things. I chose not to because I just put my phone in the bottom of my bag. But I just think you'll have fun making something like this. So get the right tools, get the jelly roll sasher, as we show across the front here, jelly roll sashers, the bag strapper set. One of these pre-cut rolls of wadding has made a bag this size, and I had a little bit left over. So it's really, it's quite an economical thing to make. Base, don't forget your sew slip mat, and don't forget the titanium needles, the Roxanne glue basted, and a taper's tailor's-all. So that's a great little package that you would put together to make something like this. But imagine making this for one of your girlfriends or for one of your family members. They'll love it forever, and it's so strong. So I hope you've enjoyed this how to make the lovely bags from 2.5-inch strips of fabrics or from your jelly rolls. If you've got jelly rolls in the cupboard, you don't know what to do with them, get them out of this jelly roll. I'd probably get 2 bags this size and a little small one. So have fun creating, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.